Boom, 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 boom. Little slow. Boom, 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 boom. Little slow still. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And okay, great. All right, we don't claim to be
doing repeating until we got consistent.
Yeah, we'll just blame it on the lag.
Blame it on the director. The Arbitrage family. Okay, we got that done. All right. It starts with an A2.
Sorry, I'm not very artistic.
So was that real or Memorex? So
it's definitely not real. That's about as fake as it gets. All right. I'm Darren with Arbitrage Trade. This is Arbitrage after the trade, after the bell, and it is Wednesday. We're doing it on a Wednesday once again. We do have the full staff back. We've got Daniel Hopwood, top right, ex-institutional wealth manager, Q the booze, since we're close to Halloween. We got Josh Morgan, a.k.a. The Bank. And we've got our founder and CEO, Royce, also known as the Quant. Quant, the victorious Quant this week, as I have given away what happened later on. So we are not financial advisors, and obviously we're not musicians. After that terrible start.
2 out of 4 ain't bad.
Okay. This information is provided sheerly for educational and entertainment, and again, not musical purposes. Please always consult an investment professional before making any financial decisions. And we also know who does this agenda every week, and we still let him have the reins, and we just kind of play off of it, even though he's not even American. He's off in Asia world, and he's a Bitcoin applehead, Daniel. So we're talking about no days off. I assume this is not school, and he's gone, just like gone. That.
He's See, like, nope. You want to talk about
this? Is crazy.
Badly? Well, poorly, I'm out.
This is crazy. All right, we're gonna boop. Don't touch that button again when he comes back. I'll have to tell him that. Anyway, no days off. He's talking about the stock market. It's just talking about how basically it just keeps going up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right. Let's yeah, exactly. And NVIDIA actually started doing it again too. I mean, it just, to me, it feels like that's what they're using these certain stocks just to make it look good for at least a couple more weeks. They're going to keep pumping these top 7 while the 493 does they keep going. They raise up a few here, then they lower them, and then they raise a few up here.
It's the law of averages.
Yeah. Well, yeah, which is what the whole algorithm's all about, right?
Absolutely. Pretty much.
So I think we have a possible return visitor here. I think he rang the doorbell. I think he's coming in. We can do hey, let's do the Wayne's World.
Knocking, but they can't come in.
We'll do the Wayne's World. He comes back in. He's having some problems over there.
Mostly back. He's holding his nose.
All right, so Royce, while we wait for the ghost of Singapore past to come back, just give us what's going on in this crazy market. Why does it keep going up and to the right? What's your opinion there, Royce? Of course, it's opinions.
Sorry. Go ahead. One more time.
That's like, did we lose his audio too now?
No, you didn't lose my audio.
No, he's just ignoring the host. That's all. I'm just kidding. I was asking.
I have fires that are catching fire right now.
Oh, yes. We do run a business here. We'll go to the banker while you're doing that. Banker, why do you think it's going up and to the right? And who said you could wear that stupid Razorback shirt, by the way, too?
I mean, dude, it's hoodie season. It's finally shorts and hoodie season. Like, I am taking full advantage of it. So you can hate the logo, but it is finally prime time for like just shorts and hoodies.
Yeah. Well, it's, as a big Orange fan, I'll have to keep looking at that this whole show. Go ahead, tell us what.
I bet you had a fun
Let's don't talk about the game. Don't talk about the game. Let's just talk about the stock market and why it's going up and to the right.
I honestly don't have a good answer for it.
Right.
Like, it flies in the face of everything that we're kind of seeing, all of the logic, everything that's actually happening right in front of your face. And then you look, there are even correlations between like DXY and SPX and things that are typically the things that kind of either move in the same direction or move in an opposite direction. A lot of those trends are slowly breaking down. And I dug into it, and truthfully, I don't have a good solid answer for that question. Like, it's not making a ton of sense. So there has to be something little bit, like 40,000 feet, something a little bit higher up that maybe I'm not seeing or not privy to, or what it is, or maybe it's just the narrative, or maybe we're just election cycle, or all of the things that we've talked about, for this entire season.
We have.
It's just,
and it's always a narrative, by the way. Always. It's never not the narrative.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's always, this is what we expected. Like,
well, Piper Sandler puts out a thing, and they said that their S&P target, not their target, but they said that the S&P is overvalued by 8% now. So whenever I hear that, when I hear an investment person say that, it makes me think, oh, they must have shorts. So they need to put that little bit of information out there so that they can try to drive the price down to where they need it. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's obviously I've been saying it's been overvalued for a while now, but we'll see. We have 2 weeks, right?
Overvalue what?
The entire markets. We'll see.
Yeah. How do you gauge your higher value or overvalue?
Because it's almost a 22 multiple right now, which is ridiculous. I mean,
what?
Okay. All right. We'll see. I tell you what.
Let's go.
When it goes down, then we'll have this conversation, and I can say I told you so.
No, you're saying it's 22 multiple of what though? So I'm like, I'm willing to entertain the conversation. I'm just trying to say what makes you think that basically okay.
I believe it's price to earnings ratio, or what the multiple of the value of the companies are. That it's at a 22 multiple, correct? Isn't that what they use when they say that? All I know is that they always say at one point we're like, okay, it should be a 15 multiple, and now it's all the way up at a 22 multiple. I've even heard it at 12 multiple here in the last 4 years. So what is? Why don't you tell me, Royce? When they say a multiple, you tell me what it is there. See, I bounced that back right back.
I gauge if it's overbought or oversold is how fast it moves. That's why a bull market can go on for decades, because as long as it keeps a steady pace, probability will continue to expand with it.
Right.
If, however, like in 2015, you have a $40 fall in one day, that's oversold. So everybody, even the people who aren't smart enough to know, hey, this is not going to stay down here, are all trying to buy it and try to get it at a really cheap price. So that's the knee-jerk buyers. And same thing, when you see the market for no good reason spikes up, that's like a last hurrah. That's like a flare gun letting you know this is the end. But as long as it's just constantly basically taking a small hill, we wind up on top of Mount Everest, and when no one's going to stop us.
Well, I mean, but you have different valuations of companies. So, like the multiples.
But once again, if everybody's stacking.
Yes, but I mean, even if you look at the top 7, those are the ones we're talking about that have skewed this so far up, especially the multiples, that it's just bound to finally come down.
But we're not based on multiples.
They're pushing it. Well, no, but the algorithms, you don't think the algorithms are tied to multiples too? That if a company gets way too high,
absolutely not.
That the machines don't kick in and they go, okay, well, this is way too high. We need to bring it back down again.
Only when you have knee-jerk reactions. Only what machines will buy when basically probability is on its side. That's how algorithm trading works. Mean reversion, because it's like, oh, you got way too far from what the average price from this guy is. Let me pull back to the mean. Or it fell too far. Let me pull back to the mean. And only when you get those really fast movements up or down, that's when you get the turnarounds. So it's not like everyone's watching, marching band. They keep marching up the street. They'll eventually march out of sight. You get a sprinter running by, there's the cops to get them. Right? It's like, where are they running from?
But you always have to have a pullback. We're not having pullbacks that are worth anything to go back up.
Like I said, it's a cadence. It's just a march. There's no pullback required. It's just like slow down. That's the other thing. Time, how long it takes to get there also influences what the moving averages do. So it's like
that's the momentum part.
You can sprint, and let's say you sprint for 3 weeks, and then for one day you walk. Basically, that walk, if you were sprinting too fast, lets everything else catch up to you, and then you can sprint again. It's like literally you're showing off.
Well, how did that work in the financial crisis? Did we not have a certain overvalue of everything once that all happened, and then everything crashed back down to earth? Or is that just, does a black swan create the crash, or is it just because it was time to crash? I mean, What is it?
Well,
is
that's just it.
Overvaluation of the stocks, or is it actually an event that caused it to happen?
Without introducing collusion into this equation.
No.
Without introducing that. So look at it this way. It's like if everyone knows that basically if you go 3 standard deviations up, you're going to have to turn around. And there's a 0.02% chance that you can go out there and stay out there. If everyone gets there, it's like, you know what? That percentage is really high. Let me take my profits. And then if they all happen to do it and they all happen to coincide, black swan.
Kind of like, hey, they all get together through their WhatsApp and say, hey, it's time.
No, it's clearly as the writing saying on the wall. It's like you go too fast, you hit a wall. If everyone knows that the wall is there, you run into it. So
okay, but all I'm saying is that when I brought up the 22 multiple, that's not me saying it. That's me basically parroting what the financial media is saying, is that 22 is rich. It's a rich valuation for this market.
Says who?
Piper Sandler says now that it's 8% overvalued. So, I mean, it's not just me saying
now you believe Piper Sanders?
I never believed them. In fact, you missed the part when you were on vacation for the last 10 minutes. You missed the part when I said that they're doing it for a reason. Probably they have a lot of shorts, so they're just bringing it out or something. Or they need to get in lower.
8% overvalued is what he said apparently.
Yeah, right? It's not what I said though. It's what
No, what the guy said. Whoever the guy is.
Yeah. Piper Sandler's. What are they? Institution there. What's Piper Sandler? They're just investment firm.
I think they are research.
They're all research firms, but
of course they are.
If they're investment firms, they're research firms. But yeah, they're around all the time, and they always insert, and it's like they always pick and choose. It's like they take turns throughout the years. Let me get your analyst a pick, and then let's get yours. And in exchange for that, I don't know any stock in this, so I need you to say that this is going to happen. And then in exchange, I'll say the same thing for you for a stock that I don't own. Anyway, we're going to move on. We completely missed Daniel on that one. Or did we miss him? No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's All right, so next thing, soft landing incoming. Here we go. We're going to talk about this one more time. But soft landing, I mean, again, I've told you they try to introduce no landing now, which is a bunch of BS that I've ever heard in my life. Even go back to the last point about just always going up. I think it's still just everything's being pushed towards after the elections. That's all there is to it. But let's, you know what? We missed the one part about Tesla. So we are going to talk about that because the millennial wants to talk about that. So Tesla goes autonomous, and it is a big thing. I did see the picture of the van. It looked really cool. And so introduce that one for us, Daniel. What's going on there with the autonomous? They're trying to catch up to Google. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so Elon, with Tesla finally revealed the kind of like long-awaited cyber taxi, and what they're now calling the cyber van as well, which was a 20-seater robo van with no windshield, which sounds like a little weird in my opinion. But yeah, so I think for the last 2 years he's been promising fully autonomous driving. This was supposed to be the big reveal of that with these vehicles. Right. And while the vehicles were there, I think the event kind of showed a lack of bringing forward that full self-driving, where they're competing with the likes of Google's Waymo, which apparently gives 20,000 rides a week across San Francisco, LA, and Arizona. And I saw a report that the what's the name of his robot under Tesla?
The Titan.
Yeah, it might the personal robot things.
I think it's the Titan.
The one they showed the army of last 2 weeks.
Yeah, apparently at the event there were some of those, and they're
yes.
I don't know if it was leaked or not, but they were all controlled by people somewhere else, like remote control.
It was leaked. Yes, so it was leaked.
They were not like remotely, real robots, if you will.
Excuse me, but actually they were exactly remotely real because it was some remote person that was doing it. So go ahead.
Well, no, I mean it's a good drone then, though, right?
I'm just being a joke. It's just a joke. Okay.
No. You're not wrong, but it's like I think everyone was expecting like a robot that functions by itself, and it was like it's just like some little dude piloting it like somewhere else.
Yeah, I remember one of the
so-
cutouts. They said they had a robot talking to someone, and this was before everybody knew somebody was controlling it, and he was just talking back and forth, like, "Hey, you're from what? What? Oh, are you really? There's a nice blah 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 in that city, blah blah blah," and it was talking like just conversational. And then later on, we find out, oh yeah, I mean, which I suspected anyway. You know me, somebody's controlling this robot. We're not there yet.
Yeah. So with all of that, can't help but wonder like if Elon's kind of falling behind on all the Tesla stuff, because we saw the amazing thing he did with catching the rocket with the chopsticks, right? But it's kind of at least the last year or two, and it's definitely showed in the stock prices, kind of started to fail to deliver when it comes to Tesla.
Interesting.
And I say that as a shareholder.
As a shareholder, I think there's a lot coming for Tesla in the next year.
I do too, especially if Trump wins too. By the way, this is one I think if Trump wins, then it's going to definitely be a good thing for Elon. And if Kamala wins, it may not be, because they do not hide that they do not like Elon. I mean, this current administration has not liked Elon at all, and now you see that Elon has given millions and millions of dollars now to the whole Republican side. So I'm talking about something that's coming up later, but I mean, that's something that is happening. I mean, a lot of billionaires are now starting to pump their money towards the Trump battery operated train.
the deep state that Peter Thiel's trying to create on the right.
Yeah. That's a whole other show.
I mean, I think like JD Vance was a part of. I think he might have been a Thiel fellow.
I don't know about that.
He has some association with Peter. It's called a Thiel fellow.
Okay, Thiel fellow. Like, okay, I got you.
You're like a crazy smart kid, and like he just like kind of funds you to like explore the next thing. It's not necessarily even like a startup investment, but like typically the kids that go through the Thiel fellowship, like kind of like they always end up developing some crazy company.
Yeah. Hey, exposure.
And in this case,
outside the box.
All right, so we'll go back to what I was talking about then. The soft landing, is that happening or not? I mean, we'll address this every week, at least for the next two. The mortgage rates, by the way, are going up on mortgages. I think you mentioned that, didn't you? That Daniel, didn't you say something about housing is going to be better or something? Or
the housing prices have started to show signs of moderating, opposed to continually rising. It's like the first time inflation's cooled in 3 years.
The prices are moderating.
They're trying to frame it as it's stabilizing, opposed to.
It's called narration.
It's not going down. No, it's stabilizing.
It's all about framing.
It's narrating.
There you go.
Yeah, the better term is more like a plateau.
It's agenda. It's agenda execution. So the housing, I'm seeing a lot of new houses go up. And so again, I still say this is the 80-20 rule. The 20%, yes, they need housing. They're going to keep buying houses. And then the 80% of us suffer underneath that, while mortgage rates are starting to creep back up again. So interesting dynamic. And again, I think everything changes at the end of the year as we move into January, no matter who's in office.
Exactly.
Just because they're finally going to say, look, what we've done for the last 4 years is ridiculous, or 8 if you include, when what Trump started with the just Trump's Congress started with just dumping money. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. We got to pay the piper at some point, and I'm not talking about Piper Sandler. So let's go to. All right, I like the way you did this. I'll give you credit there, Millennial, but King Khan, huh? I see what you did there. That's a KHAN for those that aren't reading along with us. It's King Khan. So what is she doing? Is she's she's changed the whole agenda for the FTC. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So, the FTC used to be the part of the government that more or less protected Americans from like scams. But with Lena Khan in power since then, it's been kind of the era of trying to break up big tech, not letting mergers go through. And it has become so divisive that, people who donate money, mostly business people on both sides, want her and your favorite guy, Gary Gensler, out. Mark Cuban, who's been pretty publicly pro Kamala lately, has even said both of them have got to go. And apparently, as she has said in private, that she's has the power to replace the chair of the FTC and the SEC. But this hasn't come without people like AOC and Bernie Sanders saying that they're ready to fight the fight, whatever the hell that means, when it comes to replacing these people. And so I think it is actually like very important. Regardless of who wins, I think if Trump wins, they probably get replaced regardless. But of how if Kamala wins, this actually gets handled, right? Because now she's coming out as pro crypto, trying to be more pro business than Biden. But we all know the only goal for politicians is to get elected, right? And then they do what they want, more or less, when they're in. And I think it's actually seeming to come down to a battle of will she hold her word on these things? Because billionaires like Mark Cuban, they only give you money when you actually are pro business.
You do what they say, which goes back to what I think Royce has mentioned several times about what'd you say, corporate what?
Corporate Congress.
Congress. There we go.
It's like where big corporations wind up running the country.
Right, which they're already doing that, right? I mean,
nothing.
Yeah, but okay, I will because I can. And right as of now, this is a free country, but the World Economic Forum, right?
Live.
Okay, World Economic Forum. All of the big companies send a representative over there, and then they talk about the Agenda 2030. I mean, that is a given. You can read it up, you can dig down all you want to, but that's what happens once a year. Davos is what it's called. And they all meet over there, and it's a 2030. And that's why you keep seeing that 2030 number pop up on all these different, we'll get this done by 2030. So it'll be interesting when this next administration comes in on what due dates they give things.
Probably 2028.
If everything just gets blown up. Yeah, 2029 and a half mid-year.
In 2029, we guarantee. Wait.
So I have a joke. What is Harris's favorite shoe?
Uh-oh.
Come on, y'all can get it.
I don't know.
Flip-flops.
Huh?
All right, so we'll move on. Based on the way she keeps, I mean, she does like most politicians do, flip on with her just to get those votes. All right.
But did you guys see her 60 Minutes interview or clips, and then that they re-edited after?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. CBS actually brought out that she was using a teleprompter too, didn't they? I mean, it's just
during the wow.
I mean, and I don't
think they're allowed to speak without being, corralled in. Right?
But always look at right by world leaders, not just local. Anyway, but their eyes. Look at their eyes when they answer questions. I look at that every time now because the first time I noticed it, you'll never see it a different way, and they're going left or right as they talk. They're very good at that. I'll give them props for that, and also hate them. All right, and I'm talking about all politicians. All right, so come get me. I'm in this little cell with padded walls. Come at me, bro.
I'll take his keys. Don't worry.
Darren's incel cell.
Hey.
That's right. All right, so a banker. Since you guys fund these guys all the time, she
doesn't work for us. Nope.
No, I'm basically talking about the FTC here and taking down big tech. are they actually just trying to keep monopolies from happening, or is it they're actually in a vendetta against people? What against corporations? What's going on there?
I think I love everything about what Quant has been doing, like top to bottom, left to right. Like I support everything that she has been for.
Yep.
And I think she's doing a fantastic job. She is one of the few people in government that is literally doing her job without worrying about the influence from the money or donations or.
As far as we know, you go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. You got to think about what she's doing. I don't know who would be funding her to do all of these things, because she's going after all of the people that have the money, and she's burning every bridge she possibly can in the name of she's almost like a white knight, it seems like. But and even further to that point, I read earlier that there's a lot of people in that particular role that you got to think, like, post FTC, what is she going to do? Like, what is her role? And so a lot of these guys will end up playing nice with like the big Xfinities and like the mega tech and all of these various companies, because they get out of this role as FTC chair, and where do they go? They have to go back into a non-government role. You're essentially, if you don't play nice, you're going to get blackballed. And she does not seem to care in the least. And she is just she is blazing a trail, and I'm all here for it, because all she is doing is literally trying to keep companies accountable and reduce monopolies. And everybody keeps touting it as like an anti-business or an anti-business position. Like she's against business, but no, she's just really against monopolies, mega corporations. And that is to me, the most pro-business stance you can have.
Yeah, this is when I always say that no real change happens until it's elite versus elites. You can have all these lower 80% people yelling and screaming about something happening, and then the upper 20 and their politicians will virtue signal all day long. But until there is an actual 1% that has money in the game versus another 1% that has money in the game, you won't get change. And so that's why I do agree with what you're saying about some of the things that she's done or has been told to do. So let's. By the way, FTC in tomorrow's three things, they did finally push through be able to unsubscribe just by a click. And basically with the basis of it being that you should be able to unsubscribe just as easy as you subscribed, which is another thing that you were saying. I'll give her credit for as well. At least, if you're the coach of something, you should get the credit if your team succeeds. So I'm gonna give her that. See, I could be nice. All right.
She's also working on other great things, like even something stupid like just for an anecdote, like personal anecdote. I've got YouTube TV. And that the whole volume differential between the main feed and commercials, it was outlawed years ago. But because these streaming services do not technically count as cable, they get to fly under the radar. So she's actually going to, and apparently sometime either late this year or early next year, is going to go back to where all of these streaming bundled packages and things like that are now under the same purview and are going to be restricted to having that. So you're not flipping through channels and you've got some Burger King commercial blowing your eardrums out.
I try not to do that with our PSAs. I know when I first got here. When I first got here, it was funny. This is a little anecdote, but it's like maybe the first weekend I released one of our three things, and there was this Smokey the Bear commercial. And I had not gone back to listen to it, and did a lot of assuming at first. And I remember getting a text from Royce saying, "That Smokey the Bear commercial is kind of loud, isn't it?" So do you remember that?
Getting those ads to be in line with the rest of the audio is like a pain in the ass.
Well, yeah, you definitely have to listen to it all for sure. So anyway, I've done that before, but she didn't come after me. I'm not important enough
yet.
So yeah, that's right.
When she does, the bars are soaked and the socks will be ready.
No, it'll be, you're talking about the jerk. You're talking about the jerk, right, Royce? It's like, I'm important now. She came after me.
Yeah.
All right. It's yeah. Don't answer the door. All right, Royce, it's time for your little crayons. We're gonna cue this up. It's Crayons and Charts with Royce Wells from Arbitrage after the bell.
All right, let's go take a look at one of our favorite companies to look at, AMD.
All right, let's hold off on that. I think when you came in, you remember? No, but you remember when you left and came back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your chart did not. So let me post this in here again. We're just looking at Daniel for some reason. Now we just went over his head. So now we don't see the Apple head anymore. You are a go for AMD. That's what you have.
All right, AMD. This is AMD on a daily time frame. The last 5 days have not been so great. 5 of the 6 last days have been red. And the question is there any relief in sight? It went from about 174 Wednesday of last week to where we are now. So basically it lost almost $22 worth of, or I'm sorry, $18 worth of value. And a lot of people are saying, hey, is this the beginning of a new trend? We do see a red X there. I've even had people call in and say, hey, we see SAR has all those red dots. We see that X. What's going on here, Royce? Is it ugly? Is it going to get worse? Where's the bottom? Well, I can never tell you where the bottom is. I can only tell you what our charts say. Well, we're seeing that we're sitting on support right at about 156, so that's a good thing. However, our dashboard over here says that 150-ish is the bottom. So from where we are currently to where it's going, you may have another $6 to $8 worth of pain to endure. So another maybe 5% pullback that's coming in the very near future. Zooming into the 2 hour from the daily, let's see if that coincides. And yeah, that's about where the yellow edge of our advanced indicator is looking at. That's our 3D advance. It basically shows the probability of each band that makes up the arbitrage band trading system. And basically all we want to do is stay within the line. It's a clear cloud, stays within the yellow, and that's what we're looking at. The yellow cloud is running out of probability right at about 149 as well. So that probably is a good place to potentially buy the dip, or at least consult a financial advisor when deciding if you want to buy that dip. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks.
All right. That is Royce Wells with Crayons and Charts with the special star called Pips. Basically, it almost feels like cheating. All right, so let's go back. It almost feels like it, though, with those. And the better and better we get with that.
Trust the math. Trust the
I know. It makes me look good, though. I'm like Jimmy the Greek lately for stocks.
And I don't think either one of the millennials would get this, but bring me the blue pages. I need the blue pages.
They don't know Jimmy the Greek probably either.
I need the red pages.
Yes. I know what the yellow pages are. But...
Well, yeah, it's good that he knows that, I guess. Didn't they discontinue those two, throwing those big chunks onto your patio and breaking your patio concrete?
That was from a game called Myst from the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I remember the name of that, but I never played it. I remember it, though, for sure. All right, so we had a little wager.
People with the blue or the red pages, by the way. It's not a good idea.
Now, yeah, I do know that reference.
Don't trust a taxi driver with Atlas. All right, so let's go to
or an autonomous robot that's speaking with you.
Oh, now we're getting more current to what we were talking about today. Stay current. Okay, so the little wager we had was USO oil, right?
Oil, yes.
Yeah, which is, I think, is just, if you want to talk about a stock or an industry that's been jerked left, right, up, down, and sideways.
This made perfect sense. This actually even fit the narrative.
All right. So you want to look at that one too now, or what?
I'm just telling you why it fits the narrative, right?
Yeah,
the closer you get to the election, the more things are normal. So they're going to make oil prices go down. They're going to make gas prices go down. They're going to make food prices go down. So everything looks like it's normal. You have a nice baseline for whenever the new president or the new administration or the same administration takes over. Then after that, look out. So
yeah, like everything, right?
but so me going, I want the lower end of the spectrum for oil. That's like saying, okay, are you going to drink beer at New Year's? No,
well, I mean,
champagne, wine, no alcohol done at New Year's. That's crazy.
Speaking of New Year's, is this going to be the last New Year's we ever celebrate? All right, we got
Jesus.
Yes, you should look to him. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Anyway, but seriously, so stop it. All right, Royce was the winner. Royce was the winner. The Quant was the winner. He's the one that picked not the bottom channel, but he did pick the next to bottom channel. Actually, we did have an ape on the other end. He was surrounded by apes above and below him, and we didn't win. I had it for a lot of the week up until Monday. Monday, there was this huge red candle, which was, of course, Royce selling his shares in that so that he could win. That's what that was.
Absolutely. and
it always happens that way.
Statistically, just going to put this out here. Statistically, when something falls, it can only fall 3 deviations. So from where the top was, from where you were, where your channel was, to where I am, that's 3 deviations. So, yeah, the luck of it getting it to Josh, I didn't think was going to be able to make it there. But making it to my channel, I think you even mentioned yesterday that basically it should bounce here. It should bounce here. I'm like, well, it depends.
It did, though. It hit the dollar signs. I mean, even Pips was on my side. He said, here, this is, it's going to reverse. This is the dollar signs. Take your profit on the way down. And and so that's what happened. It started going back up. I've got the chart for everybody up, by the way.
I see it. I see it clear as day. But also know that the compass line is above the momentum line. On that,
they say don't fight the feds and don't fight the charts, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I've got the scorecard up. I meant to say scorecard up. So we have Royce at 3, and the rest of us at 1, which means
no, that's misread.
Hold on. I'm getting there to this new this new system because he's the boss, and it is 4. It is 4-2. It is the Quants and Institutes. We got to come with a name for both. Would that be Quantitute? We can call you Quantitutes. I don't know.
I like
Toots. And Toots. There you go. That's right. Somebody said that was cute. So it's it is 4-2. All right. So we need the 4-2 to bounce back. All right. So what is
Daniel? I'll let you pick. Yeah, so I pick so that way we
I'd love to go second.
Enjoy your time for the week. We will be back next Wednesday to throw all the poo back. We got double barrel poo coming at you for next week. So go ahead. What you got, Royce?
So we are looking at CRWD, which is CrowdStrike Holdings. And CrowdStrike is a mover. I mean, it's a big time mover. I was looking at this and I had to recheck the numbers a few times because it keeps moving. Looking at this guy on a daily time frame, that's what we always base our views from. We have almost from almost a 270 to 330 range, and we're currently sitting at about 306. Me, basically, because I'm first, I am actually not going to give anything away. I'm going to let Daniel go first.
But
what if he picks your channel? What if he picks your channel?
Illusion.
That's fine. He's on my team.
Sounds like it. It does sound like it, right? We got to get more organized, banker. We got to get when this happens. We got to.
It's a surprise.
I didn't either. It's a narrative and agenda, even on this show. All right, go ahead.
All right, so we're doing 330.
370 to 330 is the range.
270 to 330.
No, 270 to 330.
Yeah.
You got a $15 range.
And it's at 306 now. So
it's at 306. So 330 to 315, 315 to 300, 300 to 385, and 385 to 370. I mean 270.
I'll take the top range.
Okay. So 315 and up.
315 and up. Okay. Right. In that case, I will take 315 all the way to 3.
Oh, come on.
Lock them out. Lock them out.
This is definitely collusion.
This is like
This is collusion.
Okay, whatever.
This is definite collusion. And since you love her so much, we need King Khan in here to regulate this crap.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
We're creating
a $30 spread, Daniel.
Yeah, you're spreading something on pretty thick here. That's for sure.
But,
all right, go ahead.
To your point though, we only have to fall $6, and now we're all in your range. All in your range.
I know.
Oh, try to, when they say try to make Shinola look like. Anyway. Okay, go ahead. Saying. Go ahead, Captain Khan. We'll call you Captain Khan since she's King Khan. What you got there, banker?
I'll take right under. I mean,
I had a feeling. All right.
I don't love it, but
I'll be pulling for you. All right. And at least I get a wide range. I mean, I've got $285 to zero. I got a $285 range. All right. I should look at it that way because I'm ever the optimist, except for a lot of things. All right, so
what? You're more perma bear than I am.
Funniest thing you ever said.
All right, let's wrap this up. Let's hope that we don't have a lot to talk about because something big time happened and a black swan flew into our pond and pooped all over the place. So let's say goodbye to Daniel, Royce, and the banker Josh Morgan, and we will not sing and snap our way out of this segment, I promise. So, or maybe we will.
One of us. Okay, yeah.
The rebel. All right. See you guys next week. Bye.